and we have done. So we'll just advance a bit, get us to that tough fixture, West Ham away. Again, a very physical battle, not one that's as straightforward as it seems on paper. Obviously, they're not doing particularly well in real life at the moment. Not good form for them, and David Moyes is facing a sack, just as Lampard has just received. He's just been handed his P45. He's been told to walk. And it's looking like David Moyes is going to have to face the same problem. I mean, they've just brought in I think they've just brought in Danny Ings, which is an interesting signing for them. I mean, the centre forward is definitely something that they've been needing to look at. Trying to find a replacement for Michail Antonio. They brought in Scamacca, who's a good Italian international, but obviously not the finished article they were looking for. And Danny Ings probably just bring them those goals they need to get a good season and get them that Europa League. I think that's their goal for now. So strike from Leao early on, saved well by Fabianski, the ex-Arsenal man. But yeah, there's a lot of work for David Moyes to do, and he's on the verge of being sacked. Whether he can turn that around, we'll have to wait and see. But he's certainly up against it now, and Lampard has unfortunately had to bite the bullet there. Be interesting to see who Everton bring in to replace him. I'm assuming they have somebody in mind, otherwise they wouldn't have done it at this stage in the season, but no word on that just yet, so we'll keep an eye on that one. So the turn from Tierney, knocks it forward up to Gabriel, brings the ball out of defence comfortably, and that is very much a feature of Arsenal's play. The way they build up through midfield with the inverted fullback, the owl into Jesus, who strikes back of the net. Fabianski does not get his mitts on that one. And it is that man again, Gabriel Jesus. He seems absolutely unstoppable here in this season. The defenders can't get a finger on him. Absolute rocket. Good drive from Leao. Knocks it back to Jesus, who takes a touch and thumps that past Fabianski. I think his view is maybe obscured a bit by the defender, but what a goal that is. That's a very, very good start. Xhaka and Jesus bundling each other to the ground there in celebration. That is excellent to see. So another poor start from West Ham here. We'll see if they can, pose any kind of threat to us, but it doesn't seem very likely. Jared Bowen out there again, another young English talent, potentially wasted at West Ham, getting his game time, but I think there's been a question over his mentality. That's a good ball through there. Good save by Ramsdale to deny them. Not sure what happened there. The kind of all just went to sleep and we were exposed straight off the bat. The ball in should be relatively simple to deal with, but off the line after a Dawson header and eventually swept up by Ramsdale to our relief. Rolls it out to Tierney. So he's going to come back inside to Thomas Partey, who will knock it forward to Granit Xhaka. There's a lot of options going forward, just need to find that final pass. But the counter-attack here is looking quite promising for West Ham. Kieran Tierney, can he get back? Yes, he can. Just did enough to put him off, to make him knock the ball into Gabriel. That's an Erdegaard charging with that out wide. There's an overlapping run that we'll look for Bukayo Saka, who will drive at his man one-on-one. Does well. Crosses it out over to Leao, who heads it back to Granit Xhaka, who can't hit them, and he does. Good save from Fabianski. Goal decision system, well, I'm not sure that's entirely necessary. Yeah, I think we can see that that's not a goal, but that is lovely. Thank you for that. Absolute waste of time. That is fucking lovely. Ooh, just saved off the line. Denied. Gabriel knocking that into Granit Xhaka. Partey driving forward. Does well. We're looking quite solid here. We are all over them. Just need to get that second goal to really cement the lead, but we are looking solid here. So Arsenal just come back off a big, I say big, it was a colossal win at the Emirates, 3-2 against Manchester United. A real heart racer of a game. It was end-to-end stuff. Arsenal controlling the game in many ways, but just the individual quality of Manchester United that saw them get their goals, especially with that initial Rashford opener. It's a game that you kind of, as you were watching it, you just had to hold your hands up and appreciate what you just witnessed. It was an incredible strike. Sent Partey for a hot dog really, and then just absolutely thumped into the back of that. Nothing Ramsdale could do. But it was just that individual quality, I think, that kind of kept Manchester United in the game. But Arsenal, just again, too good to be stopped, basically. And it's a massive 3 points for Arsenal's title challenge. As at that point, Manchester United were threatening in second place. So it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a two-horse race with Arsenal and Manchester City. Arsenal are yet to play Manchester City in the league, so they will have that home fixture at the Emirates as well as the away fixture at the Etihad. So the two very big games, and those will be kind of the real difference makers, I think. Arsenal do have some tough fixtures up ahead, but every team they've faced have responded incredibly well to so far. So with the likes of Tottenham away, Chelsea away, Manchester United at home, again, been very good from them. So good to see. So what we will do here is just bring on Ndicka for Saliba. There's a little bit of fatigue out there, just to steady the ship a little bit. And what we'll do also is just bring on Eddie Nketiah up top. We have our goal. I don't think we're going to need maybe one more. I'm pretty sure Eddie Nketiah is more than capable of delivering that. But he's earned himself a rest. His form at the moment, Jesus, is unstoppable. So very solid challenge there from Gabriel. Sorry, he absolutely demolishes man. Xhaka receiving well from Leao, who drives forward again, knocks it into Eddie Nketiah. Tries to dribble for his man, just can't get past them. Was just pressured off the ball. You can see the bubbles from West Ham all over the pitch. It's a nice little touch from EA there. That is their thing. Forever blowing bubbles is their song. That is something they do at the start of every game. The ball through to Nketiah, just not able to get onto the end of it. Good attempt. So it looks like we're kind of just struggling to get that final ball. I think that's with West Ham sitting very deep. It does make it quite difficult to break down. So Ødegaard will strike from range. Saved by Fabianski quite comfortably. Just holds on to it as if it was nothing. Ødegaard takes that one well. Again, plays through Bukayo Saka. Good tackle from Kurt Zouma, the cat booter. He's a lad who did get a lot of abuse for a video of him kicking a cat. Just surreal. Absolute rocket from Leao. He's not saving that one. Yeah, surreal scenes from Kurt Zouma. I'm not sure what on earth was going on in that video, but kind of he's back into favour with West Ham after that crazy incident. But he does obviously get a mixture of songs from both the West Ham fans and the away team fans for that behaviour. So here's Declan Rice on the ball, the man that we are looking at. Again, he's just one of those players who seems to have every aspect of that defensive midfield role under control. You know, he does know how to score the long range shots. He's very good at bringing the ball out of the back and leading that charge. He's kind of a Pep Guardiola or Mikel Arteta dream. It'd be interesting to see who does win that financial battle to secure his services. Arsenal already looking very interested in doing so, and I hope that we are the team to do it. So Thomas Partey charging through here, of all people, rockets it straight at Fabianski. Definitely sliced that one. That was a proper defensive midfielder's finish. Not quite what we were expecting or hoping to see there, but I'm not sure why he was the one charging through. It's easy distribution from Gabriel to Saka, and we'll just slow this game down a bit. I think just play it forward slowly. Bukayo Saka charging through, massive touch, easily scooped up by Fabianski. I'm not sure what happened there, but the touch from Saka was extremely heavy. Just another dominating game from Thomas Partey. Yeah, it's a brutal challenge there. I wonder what the referee's going to say here. At least a yellow. Shocking from Cresswell, and his yellow card that does come out. He's absolutely munched him there. Bukayo Saka, luckily not to get himself injured there. Brutal. Get that man off the pitch. There is David Moyes. I do like the manager faces and the player faces. It does make for some very entertaining sights. Obviously, I'm looking forward to them getting Mikel Arteta's space in the game. At the moment, it's quite far off, but that's something they will resolve, I hope, in the future. It's like with Liao. He initially didn't have his face in the game, but with an update that was then put in. So it's something they can do partway through the FIFA, which is good. So you have to wait till the new one to get these faces. So Saka through one-on-one here, strikes with his left rocket. Unstoppable, that one. That was right into the top corner. Very good strike from Bukayo Saka there to give us that 3-0 advantage, that all-important 3-0. Again, we're getting some boos ringing out from the West Ham fans. I'm not sure if that's for their own players or whether for the celebrations, but look at that strike from Bukayo Saka. Never getting that, is he? Not even coming close. I think that kind of puts the seal on the deal here, that goal being the third one for Arsenal, to take them even further away from West Ham. So there's been a lot of good acquisitions here at this West Ham side. Players like Paquetá,
well, you're absolutely right. That's a
and Kehler there, who's, you know, they're first team players for Brazil and Germany. They're big signings, big players. But Moyes has not been able yet to get the best out of them, and whether West Ham will allow him the time to do that, we're not sure. But the reaction from the West Ham fans is it's mainly pretty clear. The players that they brought in, very good, arguably one of the best squads they've ever had. But what's being done with that squad in terms of getting the most out of them is not what it needs to be. And a lot of West Ham fans are feeling that frustration and voicing that. So it's a tough gig for Moyes if he is going to turn this one around. But there we have it. A big performance against West Ham at the London Stadium. A solid 3-0 win, so that's another big result. As we're looking there, Liverpool 2, Brentford 1. And Manchester United also getting 3 points. Clean sheet, yep, that's big. Leicester at home. We have, okay, so we're not going to play this. There's Arsenal Preston in the Carabao Cup. Obviously, that's one where we don't care about whatsoever. So we'll put the Cup team out for this one. And we will sim that because, you know, Preston at home, I don't really want to be wasting my time playing that one. It's a 1-0 win, so just kind of disgraced by them. You know, a win's a win, but you should kind of be expecting to win by a slightly larger margin than that. So let's have a look at the youth squad monthly report. So it doesn't look like these players are ever going to be anything special, you know. Dennis Petrov, his, you know, the higher end of his potential is 83, is not good enough. And Alfonso Mendes, 80 potential, as is kind of that's the best case scenario. So I don't think these are going to be anything that we want to hold on to. I'm just thinking of whether to get rid of them. Let's get rid of Dennis Petrov. Done. Sacked. Released. Brutal one. Oh, hang on. We had a message there in the old chat. Who's whispering? I've been playing pretty well. Listen. Yeah, obviously you're going to play. So he's 85 rated. That's actually a very nice progression from him. So obviously he's going to play. He is the captain. So let's just make this the active team sheet. So let me just check that that's worked. So we go to team management. Jesus, Liao, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Partey, who has a little bit of stamina problem. And that's mainly because we don't have anybody to fill in for him. I sent the Congra on loan rather stupidly. But hopefully we can bring somebody in January who will plug that gap and won't have those problems anymore. So without further ado, let's get into the next one. Arsenal versus Leicester City. Again, Leicester, another team struggling. Brendan Rodgers is not able to get it out of them.
Always a terrific venue to watch a football match.
It's a real mixed bag. I mean, they've kind of obviously won the Premier League not so long ago. Had a lot of players shipped out after that in the form of Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kante. Very key players, Ricardo Pereira, all these players who just seemingly came out of nowhere, but for such small fees, coming into Leicester City, dominating the Premier League for a season, and then they were kind of just raided by those big Premier League clubs for those standout players. It's tough for Leicester to ever bounce back from that. I think they kind of stuck with the transfer policy of not bringing in any real big names. But it's a team that should be doing a lot better than it is. There's still a lot of talent in that team, with players like Patson Daka who they've got up top there, James Maddison, Yuri Tielemans, Ndidi. You know, it should be a team which is performing a lot better than it is. And you expected Brendan Rodgers to to get that out of them, but he hasn't so far. Good strike from Bukayo Saka. It does find the back of the net. So Ward letting that one in there. He is getting a lot of abuse from the Leicester fans at the moment. Seen some very funny compilations of him and his kind of errors. But they're almost Sunday League level. It is comedy what that man's been whipping out. So I do feel for Leicester fans a bit. I mean, on the whole, I reckon they're probably still riding that high of the Premier League win. I know I would be if I was a Leicester fan. For them to win it in that style, I'd be happy for many years, to be honest with you. But they do deserve better. And again, there's another one where it'll be interesting to see how long they stick with Brendan Rodgers. Good strike from Saka, but again, probably should have been a bit better. Got a good save. Mikel Arteta there. Impressive what he's seen so far. Rightly so. Saliba rises, doesn't quite get his head onto that. Cleared by Leicester City. It'll be interesting to see, what kind of business goes on around Leicester City. As I say, that kind of midfield is stacked with very promising players in the form of Tielemans and Maddison. I mean, Arsenal were very strongly linked with Yuri Tielemans. It wasn't a player that we were able to get hold of, so whether that will be something that happens in the summer transfer window. And obviously Arsenal were also interested in Douglas Luiz, again another one that didn't quite cross the line in time. So it move didn't materialise in the end, but I could see Yuri Tielemans at Arsenal in the Arsenal shirt, and that's not a gap that we've yet filled, that midfield position. We've strengthened out wide with the acquisition of Leandro Trossard. As I say, who I think will be a very good solution in the short term, especially with bolstering that attack just for the duration of this Premier League season when we need it most. You know, we've brought the big guns out. We need someone who can hit the ground running and just take us that Premier League title. It's a very, very good opportunity, and it looks like we're making all the right moves to try and take it. So the Mudryk one, it's just too much money. When it got to around that 100 million mark, which is what Chelsea got him for in the end, we were struggling with that being around 75. So I'm glad it was one that we pulled out of. Though he does look like a very promising talent, it's not worth that kind of money when you're not a proven player. So Ward holds on to that one, stifles the attack, but Partey's there again. We need a player. I don't want him to get injured, and we could face some real issues without him, because there's nobody who really fits into that role. I mean, the closest we have is maybe Zinchenko, who can obviously do the stuff on the ball, but defensively he doesn't have that physicality and that presence that Thomas Partey brings. So that's a real area of weakness for us. But if we can keep him fit just until January at least, then we'll be cruising. So Jesus back heel to Saka, who drills it into his defender. It's going up for a corner, so Leao will whip one in here. Slaps it into the middle. The bicycle kick from William Saliba. I'm not sure what I've just witnessed, but how close was that? And there is Brendan Rodgers, the Scottish legend, having a chat with his players. Wonder where he's gone wrong. So the ball from Leao is absolutely pinpoint. Jesus just unable to hold off his man there. I'm not sure what happened.
1 minute of stoppage time.
Just kind of seemed to lose all of his speed over that player hanging off his shoulder. But very good ball from Leao. It's been a phenomenal signing for us so far. Definitely showing his quality with his physicality, powering through. So, solid half, 1-0. Got a lot of options on the bench if we do need to bring any of them on. As I say, my main area of concern is Thomas Partey in the middle. We don't have anybody really we can bring on in that position. So we will just get stuck straight into the second half. With a very solid first half, we're looking to build on that and just kind of try and run away with it, really. We're more than capable of doing so. Xhaka, that is poor from Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney, I often say that. He's not done very well, but have to call him out when the time comes. Jesus rolling his man well. Roll him up like a hot dog. Rolling him up like a sausage. That was unfortunate. I've just noticed that they've signed Adrien Rabiot. So he was a player that was linked with Manchester United for a spell. You know, had a decent World Cup. But Manchester United, I mean, it was never the man that they needed. I'm not sure what the links were about as Saka drives through and gets that all-important second goal to secure the lead. Manchester United do have midfield issues, and I think they're fully aware of that. They're bolstered nicely with Casemiro. I do like McTominay. I think he does provide a good cover. I think he's better in that kind of 8 role beside Casemiro. And obviously they've brought in Eriksen as well. He's a very good creative option along with Bruno Fernandes. But there's options there for Manchester United. And they've got more than enough money to bring in whoever they need to. So they have interestingly brought in Wout Weghorst as their striking option, who again did have a very good World Cup, but this seems like an odd acquisition. I know Erik Ten Hag does have his ties with him, but it's not the kind of sign you're expecting to see. You're expecting to see somebody like Cody Gakpo go to Manchester United, but he ended up going to Liverpool. A good strike there from Saka on the counter to really finish off Leicester here, who are absolutely down and out. That's his hat-trick for Bukayo Saka. Was not aware of that. Very good pace on the counter and takes his chance very well. Comfortably buried. Never in doubt for that man, Rocket. So yeah, you expect to see someone like Cody Gakpo, who's obviously now gone to Liverpool at Manchester United. It's a bit of a weird one. But with Rashford out on the left, Martial, again, a good little player, but just unable to keep his fitness. And probably not the man who's going to be leading Manchester United anywhere. Look at that power from Rafael Leao. Never in doubt. Buried. 4-0. Absolutely rampant. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the players that Erik Ten Hag decides to bring in, because we've seen already the impact he's had tactically. He's given that Manchester United team a massive boost. And the next step for them is bringing in the players to fit his system, because he's still obviously trying to deal with a group of players who would not determine as his own. It's an interesting start with players like Anthony coming in. Massive fee for Anthony. I don't think he'll ever be worth what they paid for him, but I think he'll be a solid option for Manchester United. And that's why I'm glad Arsenal did not get roped into that Mudryk deal and going up to 100 million. I think he'd be a very similar kind of signing where you've overpaid for something who's just average. I think that's all we're going to get out of Anthony. Never going to reach those levels that Saka and Martinelli are going to be reaching. Intercepted well by William Saliba, who has been an absolute revelation for Arsenal. Obviously did very well in his time out in France, where he's from, on his loan spells, and he's stepped in to that Arsenal team at the age of 21 and has been leading the line for a team that is currently leading the title charge. I mean, it's an incredible story for William Saliba. I think there was a little bit of doubt over whether his future would be at Arsenal, with the amount of loans he was being sent out on. He was always performing very well in France. We just conceded one there. Not sure what's gone on to... Okay, he's striking very tight angle. Saliba always was performing very well in France, but I think there was just some personal issues that he was going through. There was kind of rumours of Arteta and Saliba not getting on. I think there were just rumours. I think that's kind of reinforced by where there is now. I don't know how he's missed that. How Odegaard's missed a target from there. I know it's his weaker foot, but that is shocking. But yeah, Saliba and Arteta more than put those rumours to bed. With him pretty much starting every single game, and Saliba not looking like he's going to be slowing down at all either. Hilariously, got a goal out of him in that Crystal Palace game. Edge of the box, curled one in like a centre forward. I couldn't believe my eyes. But he was getting a lot of love that game, and rightly so. So there it is, final whistle. Absolute smashing. Bukayo Saka leading the way with a hat-trick, which was beautiful to behold. And what a performance from the boys. So, okay, I think we will leave it there then, boys and girls. Thank you very much for tuning in for another episode. Drop this video a like, give us a big fat subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.